Hey guys, so now that Frogan has a attorney, I'm going to speak to the attorney. Unlike Denims and Kaceytron, they both decided to hire larger law firms. Frogan went with a what I believe to be a one-person attorney law firm. The law firm is named after him, and under the attorneys on the website, there is only one attorney. Now, what are some of the benefits of going with a smaller one person law firm? They can do more attention to you, they can provide you more one on one time, and they're not going to pass you off to a junior attorney or a paralegal or any of that type of stuff because it's really just them. Maybe he does have a paralegal, maybe he does have a secretary, but junior attorneys can bill immensely for doing very, very little. In my case, there would always be a phone call, and the attorney you actually want to talk to, the law firm I used in the past were called Mintz Levins. They are a startup law firm. Daniel DeWolf was my very high profile, very expensive attorney, and he would always have at least one junior attorney on the phone call. And it was also kind of annoying because they would charge another $500 an hour just to, quote, listen and learn. So Frogan is definitely going to save money. From his website and from my analysis as to what law school he went to compared to the other attorneys, the Denims attorney is very, very pricey, I believe. You can always tell. Lawyers can always tell what each other's billable hours are, kind of like dogs sniffing each other's butts, right? It's one of those things where you can tell how much about a lawyer would cost. So I think Frogan's lawyer is probably less expensive, and maybe that's why she chose. It seems like Frogan is attempting to use the GoFundMe to provide a lifestyle and so on. Her attempts to evade services was failed, and now the judge is looking at her and saying, you know what, you made my life a little bit more difficult. First impressions are everything. Carl Jobs had a terrible first impression, and even Carl Jobs will blame that as to why he lost the lawsuit. He says the judge didn't believe him. The judge believed Billy Mitchell. That is because when your first impression is unbelievable and you're kind of an arrogant, egotistical blank of a blank, right? Then the judge is not going to, if it's 50-50, he'll just side with Billy Mitchell because he trusts Billy Mitchell more as a person. And this is human interaction 101, right? Something that Carl Jobs probably needs to learn a little bit more. Same with Frogan. There is no strategical advantage. People are saying, whoa, but Frogan has an extra 60 days and the timeline's different. And she is on a different timeline, but the case is the case, right? The facts are not going to change in 60 days. What could possibly be gotten from Denims, and the only thing that 60 days pushes it back to is it's very unlikely that Frogan will settle. That out of the three candidates, and Ethan Klein has specifically said, because Frogan made his life a little bit more difficult, he does not want to settle with Frogan. It means Frogan will be the last in these series of timelines, and she is going to be left alone. Now, interesting enough, she is in the same court as Denims. I think I think in terms of copyright infringement, Frogan is less guilty as it sounds. I mean, they're both guilty, but I'm talking about like the extent of copyright. Denims was really brash. Denims is still very brash. In fact, she is talking, and she's still talking about not only her own lawsuit against Ethan, but even Frogan's lawsuit. Even though Frogan's been completely silent about her own lawsuit, Denims has been the one saying that, oh, the process server is stalking her and they're bullying her, and that's the narrative that Denims has put out, not actually Frogan. So as to the quality, and I'm just going to put an end to this, patent attorneys are the best IP attorneys because a patent attorney can do patents, trademark, copyright, trade secrets. They can do all IPs. If you are not a patent attorney, probably means you have to sit for another bar exam. Probably means you're not eligible to sit for a bar exam, because all you have to do is it's kind of like a driver's license. You pass it one time and you got it. There is no reason for a trademark attorney who can sit and can pass the patent bar exam to not take it. There's no reason. There's no reason for a copyright attorney to and trade secret whatever, right? It is what it is, right? Patent attorneys are the height of IP because they can do everything, including patents. And do you know where most of the money in IP is? I'll give you a secret. It's not in trademarks. It's not in copyrights. It's in patents. A patent will cost you way more than a trademark or a copyright attorney. And that is it's very rare. I think taxes is the only other area of law where you get an LLM in taxation law. You do a little thing extra, but patents you have to take 2 bar exams, not 1, 2. So you have to pass both. And the passage rate on the patent bar exam is always around 50, just a little less than 50% most years. So, okay, back to the quality of lawyers. So it will determine, they're kind of they're behind the 8 ball right now. Because of the late filing, I do not think it serves as an advantage. If they wanted to settle, which Ethan has said directly that he does not want to settle, then it could serve as an advantage to see what happens in these 2 cases first. But long term, this is not a good strategy because the court is looking, it's all in the legal filings, right? The reason we know this day to day is because the court files it and it updates us. Well, you know who knows this? The judge. The judge is not, and the judge is looking at this, maybe they view it kind of funny. Maybe they view it as, hey, you're wasting my time. The judge has a docket of cases. They want to do the docket of cases. In fact, in terms of volume and in terms of lawsuits and so on, often these judges are maxed out, meaning that to get another case, they would have to finish a previous case. And there are a lot of cases piling up. So it's not like you do your homework, you delay a day from doing your homework. You don't have to do the homework at the end of the week. No, the cases are still stacking up. And unless the cases have been completely done, it does not make sense from it. Again, just imagine your own workplace. You work in Amazon and there are new orders coming in every single day. Well, because this order got delayed and got made a little bit more complicated, now you're going to get to those orders later. It doesn't mean those orders disappear, right? Maybe they go to other judges and other so on, but on average, it's just a delay for no apparent reason, no legal reason that this delay had to happen. No legal reason. Now, this has nothing to do with the law firm. I'm sure that the law firm is trying their best. This is going to be client-based. They do trademarks, copyright, and business law out here in Los Angeles. This is a very different law firm than the one that Kaceytron and the one that... So the one that they have is there's multiple lawyers. Even Kaceytron has 2 of the lawyers. This is a very small law firm compared to those. And the law school he went to, and again, law schools do matter. I know people don't care as much, but yeah, law schools do matter. Partner at Frost LLP, that is Ben Casas. I believe his partner is one of the individuals who, I believe the partner is the one on both. Litigation only lawyer. They have a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 8. No, they have 8 partners, not 9, maybe more. Wow, there's a lot of people on their page. There's 8 of them. Here's another 16. Here's another 16. Okay, so there's a lot of attorneys. There's Cynthia, Lauren, Kevin, Ahmed, Celia, Monica, Benjamin Goose. Benjamin Goose is the second guy. He's the second person, I believe, in Kaceytron. David, Ellen, Christopher, Nico. These are Nico, Zachary, Melissa, Sarah, Paul, Tim, Greg, Lawrence, Luis, Kelly, David. These are all attorneys, by the way. So this is a very, I would call a medium-sized law firm, and they are unapologetically aggressive. That's what they say on their website. Behind Nikon, he just looks like a nice dude. He looks kind of like, I know he does quote litigation, but he kind of looks like somebody who does mostly transactional. And I only say that because I do mostly transactional. I don't do litigation. I've been part of litigation, yes, as a part of a team, but I mostly do just transactional because that's patent applications. So this is a very interesting battle because not only are the timelines very different, but the lawyers are different, right? So Frogan is kind of left off to an island on her own. Now you might think, oh, why wouldn't Frogan just hire like Kaceytron, how she had a lawyer in Missouri, and then she hired the 2 Frost attorneys? The answer is no, because these Frost attorneys are in Los Angeles. For Kaceytron, it's a unique situation where she needs a Missouri attorney to bring in the 2 Los Angeles attorneys, because the 2 Los Angeles attorneys are not allowed to practice law in Missouri. They didn't take the Missouri State Bar exam. They're probably not going to take it within the next year just so they can practice. Probably have no intention of taking the Missouri State Bar exam. So unless they have a lawyer in Missouri, which is Kaceytron's first attorney, they are not able to practice in Missouri. So obviously they've been approved. They have that lawyer in Missouri. It's the same thing that happened with CoffeeZilla and Logan Paul, that Logan Paul needed the attorney local here in San Antonio, Texas. And then he brought in his law firm from Washington, D.C., and then what I assume to be his general counsel. So good luck, Frogan, because he is going to need it. Anyway, hi, guys.